You guys, welcome back. The garden's thirst has been quenched by this rain, but my hunger for comfort foods has yet to be quelled. Today I'll be making fluffy steamed buns, eaten widely throughout Asia. Hundreds if not thousands of variations. This savory and juicy version contains creamy quail eggs and sweet Chinese sausage. I'm hungry. Let's get started. Let's start with the filling. There are many variations of the steamed bun, from the type of dough made to the endless possibilities for fillings. The one I'm making is a variation of one that I ate often. I've eaten a lot of these growing up. Not this particular variation, but buns in general. And that's why maybe I feel like a kid every time I have one. My parents used to make quarterly trips to a large Asian market about 1 hour from our home, where a variation of these buns were sold. I'd always look forward to bringing a few back home with me, munching on a few on the ride back. Steamed buns are a whole meal on its own. It can also be a snack or an on-the-go meal when your hands are tied, since the dough neatly contains all of the filling inside. Stir the meat mixture in one direction for about 5 minutes until the liquid is fully absorbed and the mixture becomes a bit sticky. This action will hold the mixture together during the steaming process and make for a juicy filling. Let it sit in the fridge for at least 2 hours so that the flavors can come together and so that it firms up slightly. These are boiled quail eggs. Regular hard-boiled chicken eggs will work just fine. You'll just need to cut them up into manageable pieces. You can find quail eggs fresh or canned. Both work just fine. And Chinese sausage, which can be found in every Asian grocery store near you. They're mildly sweet and savory and a bit smoky. Parchment paper works well for holding each bun so it doesn't stick to surfaces like a steamer or a plate. To make the dough, let's start by preparing the wet mixture. It's important that the water used is warm, not hot, because hot water will kill the yeast. The yeast will eat up the sugars and cause the mixture to bloom. Let this mixture sit for about 10 minutes and let it do its magic. For flour, I'm using this brand, which works great. I've also used cake flour and all-purpose flour, which also does the job. Ideally, you'll want a flour with a lower protein content, no more than 8%. Mix together the dry ingredients. And after 10 minutes, add the wet mixture to the dry ingredients. Knead the dough until well combined. and I allowed it to sit for 1.5 hours in a warm location. This time may vary depending on how cool or warm it is in your home. You'll know when it's ready when it more than doubles in size. We'll need to knead this dough for about 8 to 10 minutes to push out as much air as you can. This step is important. Form a donut. And cut the dough into equal pieces like this. The size really depends on how big you want to make your buns. This amount is good for me. The goal is to flatten out these dough balls into a disc. The outer edges are thinner than the middle, and this is because we need some thickness in the middle to support the weight of the filling. Too thin in the middle and the filling will tear through during the steaming process. I add about 2 tablespoons of filling. The amount you add is up to you. Just make sure you'll be able to close them up. An egg, and 2 to 3 pieces of sausages. Gather the dough edges together through pleating all the way around until you get back to where you started. Pinch, twist it shut. Roll out the edges like this with one hand, the other turning the dough disc around until you get this shape. Depending on the size of the buns that you make, you may have leftover filling. That's okay. You can steam this filling in a bowl, and it goes perfect with jasmine rice as a meal. Let the buns rest for 5 minutes. Please note that letting them sit too long will make them lose their shape, because the dough will continue to rise. We'll steam this for about 20 to 25 minutes on a medium boil. leave some space in between them in the steamer because they will puff up a bit. And here we have it, fluffy steamed buns with a pork, egg, and sausage filling. To store them, let them cool down completely and place them in a freezer bag. They'll be good for at least 3 months. To reheat them, you can just pop them in a steamer, but a microwave gives good results too. The buns are soft and fluffy, and the filling is savory and juicy. It's a whole meal on its own. Thank you for making it all the way to the end. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and leave me a comment below. I'll see you all in the next video. Be safe, everyone.